Good, happy Wednesday morning. Is Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Wednesday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, we're going to begin with a check of your weather for this Wednesday morning. Right now it is partly cloudy, 67 degrees. Expect dry conditions for the next 6 hours. With a full weather forecast, let's go to meteorologist Haley LaPointe. And Haley LaPointe is saying that the humidity continues in New Hampshire. Here is that full weather forecast from Haley LaPointe. Good morning, Haley.
Step back in time, high above New Hampshire's Lakes region at Castle in the Clouds. Explore the 1914 mansion.
Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Haley LaPointe. Here's an update on your forecast. So we are in the midst of possibly our next heat wave. Today we got to 90 degrees again in Concord. It marked the 12th day that we've got there so far this year. We usually average 13 days of 90 plus degree temperatures. So tomorrow we'll likely add another day and maybe even a couple more over the next 7 days. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s through the afternoon, and we are headed for close to 90 again tomorrow. Then the culmination of the heat on Thursday in the mid-90s, maybe even upper 90s in some southern communities away from the coast. In the 80s for highs Friday and Saturday, but despite the slightly cooler temperatures, it's going to feel probably just as hot because of the high humidity. Near 90 on Sunday, so we'll likely continue to add to that tally of 90-degree days. Dew points in the 60s, even some low 70s, so it feels very humid, almost tropical-like, especially Manchester down into Nashua, so a tough, sticky night for sleeping yet again. We've had a couple of stray showers and downpours moving across the state, but very hit or miss. Not everybody has seen them. Should be done with by 8, 9 o'clock this evening, and then we have clear skies heading into a sunny Wednesday with the temperatures in the 80s and close to 90 degrees. At the coast, a little bit cooler tomorrow with the winds coming off of the ocean. By 7 a.m. on Thursday morning, we have hazy sunshine. It'll be a hot, humid, hazy day with the temperatures mid to upper 90s. And there is the chance of some storms, especially around sunset or just thereafter on Thursday and then again into Friday. Tonight, low 50s north, in the 60s through much of central and southern New Hampshire with the higher humidity and that sticky feel. It ramps up too for the day tomorrow in the 80s, close to 90 Concord. We may get to 90 in Manchester and Nashua as well. Impact weather Thursday with the heat, the humidity, near 95 and tracking the chance for some storms. Scattered storms and downpours Friday, and over the weekend there's the threat of those storms too each day, though very hit or miss. Not a washout any of those days. If you have outdoor plans, keep them. Just have a backup plan of a place that you can go when those storms hit, and if they do hit. A few more storms possible by Monday as the temperatures trend a little cooler for Tuesday.
Okay, and there you go on that weather forecast from meteorologist Haley LaPointe. Thank you for that, Haley. And there is a heat advisory in effect from noon to 8 p.m. on Thursday. Be prepared for this heat that is coming our way. And now let's get to your news. First up, U.S. Marshals seek kidnapping suspect who allegedly led police on multiple chases in New England. Man believed to be armed and dangerous. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
What does it take to be the best? It takes guts, grit, determination. We don't settle for second place.
Be aware of what's around you. Be aware of people following you.
Brentwood police warning the public after a woman was abducted randomly late last week. Police and U.S. Marshals are searching for this man, 34-year-old Peter Curtis, accused of kidnapping a woman with a gun. That woman managed to escape, and police say she's physically unharmed. But they say there is a safety risk here and are urging the public to be aware and alert.
What's important to do is to have an awareness of your surroundings. I can tell you that this young lady did have some awareness of her surroundings, and that may have contributed to the reason that she is safe today.
Curtis is described as 5'9", 210 pounds with hazel eyes and brown hair. He has several tattoos pictured here, visible on his arm, wrist, and ankle. Surveillance photos taken before the incident show a truck believed to be what Curtis was driving at the time. That truck has since been found and is now in Maine police custody. Officials tell News 9 Curtis is no stranger to law enforcement. U.S. Marshals say he has a long history of arrests relating to assaults, burglaries, drugs, larcenies, and trafficking prison contraband. Recently, they say he was involved in several high-speed police chases in Massachusetts, Maine, and New Hampshire, and has ties to those areas.
The problem with this type of an individual is he's so reckless that we as law enforcement can't pursue past certain parameters once that recklessness starts, because we have to keep in mind the public safety.
Officials say several police agencies, as well as U.S. Marshals, are assisting with the search.
Eventually, he'll have to answer for his charges in New Hampshire. There's no question.
And again, officials say Curtis is considered armed and dangerous. They say if you do see him, do not approach. Instead, they're asking you to contact your local police station or the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force. We're live in Brentwood. Hannah Cotter, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Credit card usage surges as consumers struggle to pay for food, gas, and utilities. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
If you have ever dreamed of having granite or quartz countertops in your kitchen, but thought it was too expensive, Bob's Granite...
Consumers are really being hurt across the board.
Consumers pulling out the plastic when feeling the strain from rising costs. Credit card usage is up as household debt surpasses $16 trillion for the first time ever during the second quarter.
It's because many consumers are really being stressed and pressed to pay for the necessities of food, fuel, rent as those go up. And so their use of credit has really increased recently.
Inflation is cutting into the wallets of many Americans. Findings from a Lending Club report show close to 2/3 of the U.S. population is living paycheck to paycheck, causing debt data to soar.
Credit card debt, in my opinion, is probably the worst debt you can have. It's unsecured debt, right? The credit card companies have nothing to secure that debt against.
A recent study by the National Bureau of Economic Research finds that between 9 and 20% of credit card customers choose to pay the minimum amount, even if they can afford to pay more. Experts say just getting by with that minimum each month isn't enough.
It's almost impossible to ever pay it off. You're going to be paying that minimum payment for a very long time, and you really need to start, paying more than that minimum amount, because you're going to end up costing or spending a ton of money on those finance charges over the long run.
Experts say consumers with outstanding credit card debt will likely start to see the impact from hiked interest rates soon, and they don't anticipate it to let up even heading into the holiday season. Live in the studio, Marissa Tansino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Lawyers for Adam Montgomery seek to suppress statements to police. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Walmart, America's largest, is hiring. Earn $23.55 to $28.10 per hour, plus benefits. Working at Walmart's Raymond Distribution Center. 50 full-time positions available. Apply today online or text DC to 240-240. Walk-ins welcomed.
Jen, Adam Montgomery's attorney has filed 2 motions to suppress statements he made to police on 2 separate occasions, December 31st, 2021 and January 4th of this year. In the court filings, Montgomery's attorney is asking the court to suppress the statements because the defense says law enforcement failed to honor his assertion to his right to silence, also alleging officers didn't read Montgomery his Miranda rights. December 31st was the day officers found Adam Montgomery in his car in a parking lot as they began their intense search for his daughter Harmony. Court documents say Adam told officers he, quote, had nothing to say, and at no time during the encounter was he read his Miranda warnings. On January 4th, he was arrested for assault and endangering and interference charges related to Harmony. From there, he was brought to the interrogation room, read Miranda, then a few minutes into questioning, told police he had nothing else to say. These court filings say police continued to then press Montgomery after he asserted his right to silence. The defense is also requesting to have more time to possibly file one more motion to suppress, asking for the deadline to be extended to August 10th. Live in the studio, Marissa Tansino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Three-alarm fire burns at apartment building in Manchester. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Walmart, America's largest, is hiring. Earn $23.55 to $28.10 per hour, plus benefits. Working at Walmart's Raymond Distribution Center. 50 full-time positions available. Apply today online or text DC to 240-240. Walk-ins welcomed.
Jen and Jamie, according to the fire department, 16 people have been displaced in this fire. The Red Cross is here helping, many of them outside in the heat, many of them with their pets. We have a dog there right behind us. Now, Merrimack Street behind me did just open up. You can take a look at the scene here. It has cleared out quite a bit. Before this live shot, you can see debris and furniture laying outside. The addresses affected by the fire here are 463, 461, 459, and 457 Beach Street. The fire started at around noon, somewhere between the garage and the main structure, according to the chief. He says one firefighter hurt his finger and continued to work. The fire department reports they've had to put in a lot of labor here, having to cut open the side of the building to try to put out the flames. The fire chief says he was also worried about heat exhaustion and had to rotate crews out. Eyewitnesses tell us what they saw closer to the time the flames started.
I just saw the flames go up like crazy. It was like dark flames. I actually myself called 911 because I didn't know what was going on. I stopped real quick, and I mean, I've seen some share fires, but that fire was relatively quick. I mean, that thick smoke was unbelievable.
Now, the fire chief says the last thing they were focused on were those little hot spots. That how the fire started is still under investigation, and we'll keep you updated as we learn more. Live in Manchester, Grace Feinerman, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Month-long maintenance shutdown of MBTA Orange Line expected to be announced Wednesday, today. Let's take a listen to that video from WCVB Boston.
Reserve now for a tax-free weekend at Seasons 4 Lexington. From patio and deck furniture to statuary, plants, fountains, and more. Quality outdoor furniture and accessories. Everything is tax-free. Seasons 4, the outdoor living store.
The Orange Line expected to come to a screeching halt for 30 days. That's what sources are telling 5 Investigates. The governor expected to make the announcement tomorrow.
We can't keep putting Band-Aids on situations and trying to just nibble around the edges.
Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, an Orange Line rider herself, says it's time to actually address the issues. The month-long potential shutdown follows a long list of problems across all T lines, including a man being dragged to death on the Red Line. The Federal Transit Administration legislation ordering the MBTA to take immediate action on safety issues earlier this year. And last week, feds issued new orders in the wake of runaway train incidents.
The system is choking our entire economy if we're not able to support businesses coming back and growth and people wanting to move to this area.
Governor Baker's office says they will join the Transportation Secretary and the MBTA to deliver an update regarding accelerated infrastructure upgrades to the MBTA to improve service, safety, and reliability for riders. The Orange Line had an average weekday ridership of more than 102,000 passengers in May of this year. The maintenance work certainly will inconvenience many.
Any disruption in service needs to have alternatives that would involve either shuttle buses or other options, and that's where the city could be a real partner. So we would look to work very closely with the MBTA and provide any support if this is to happen.
And Mayor Wu says it's not just about getting the work done, but making sure that it's done thoroughly and at a speed that the residents deserve, because again, like she said, she knows it's going to impact a lot of people if that announcement is made tomorrow.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Pelosi arrives in Taiwan for a controversial visit. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is in Taiwan at this hour, blatantly defying threats from China. Speaker Pelosi and her delegation were greeted on the tarmac moments after landing in the capital. She's the first House Speaker to visit Taiwan in 25 years. Her arrival could further strain relations between the U.S. and China. The Biden administration, however, insists it does not signal a change in America's one China policy. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
Despite harsh threats from China, Speaker Pelosi tonight defiant, touching down in Taiwan. At the hotel, the Speaker's motorcade greeted by cheering crowds. It is the highest level visit by a U.S. official in 25 years. The trip shrouded in secrecy until the Speaker arrived. In a statement, Pelosi defending her visit, saying it honors America's unwavering commitment to supporting Taiwan's vibrant democracy. Pelosi has a long history of speaking out against China's human rights abuses, seen here in 1991 commemorating the pro-democracy protesters killed in Tiananmen Square. But China tonight is enraged and accusing the U.S. of playing with fire. Beijing views Taiwan, a self-governing democracy, as its territory and has vowed to reclaim it. The Chinese swift to condemn Pelosi's visit in a flurry of official statements, calling it a serious violation of the One China principle and an escalation of Taiwan-U.S. collusion, and announcing they will carry out military training operations, including live ammunition drills in areas surrounding Taiwan in the coming days.
China's sovereignty cannot be infringed, and Chinese people cannot be humiliated, and the reunification of China cannot be stopped.
At the White House, spokesman John Kirby said the Speaker's visit is in line with U.S. policy and urged Beijing not to turn it into a crisis.
We've been very clear that nothing has changed about our one China policy. We said we do not support Taiwan independence.
President Biden had said the U.S. military did not think the Speaker's trip was a good idea. Asked what Biden makes of it now,
he respects the Speaker's decision to travel to Taiwan.
Pelosi taking that controversial trip. Mary Bruce joins us now from the White House. Mary, we heard in your reporting that China has announced it plans to carry out military training operations in areas around Taiwan in the coming days. How's the White House reacting to that?
Well, Lindsay, the White House says that China's fierce reaction was expected, and they say that China could take even more action in the coming days, including possibly large-scale exercises. And just now, word that the Chinese Foreign Ministry is summoning the U.S. ambassador to China to lodge a formal protest to Pelosi's visit. Lindsay?
Mary, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. That did it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.